shout outs. I'm going to shout out to my brothers, Ricky, Cody, my dad, my other brother, Dylan, my sister, Rebel.
Ooh.
Big family.
My stepdad, Johnny, and my mum, Leanne.
You got a big family?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you mention your dad?
Yeah, I did. Dad,
Good.
Brian, Scott.
Cool. Anyone here?
Oh, all the Dockside Open Mic crew. Pigsy, Matt, Sean, Alex, Phil and Stu, Lindsay, all of them.
Cool. For you guys. Alright, so if you want to start playing in the next 15 seconds.
Alright. Say 15 seconds. Home is where the party's. That's where I wanna be. She gives me a feeling I just can't believe. I can see the sunrise shining in front of me. There's no sign of setting. It's like she's with me. She's the one I think of. She's the one I love. She's the one I dream. She's my one white love. I am. Tell her just how you feeling, where your heart and your sleep. Never we're together. Tell her how much you mean. Through the story with her, she means the world to me. Through the story with her, she brings sunshine to me. She's the one I think of. She's the one I love. She's the one I dream. She's my one quiet love. I ain't home. I ain't home. Home is where the party. That's where I wanna be. She gives me a feeling I just can't believe. I can see the sunrise shining in front of me. No sign of setting. It's like she's with me. She's the one I think of. She's the one I love. She's the one I dream. She's my one quiet love.
Thank you. Tim Seeley and Waylon Scott in the studio. Welcome.
How are you?
How are you?
I'm good. I'm good.
That was beautiful. We just need this up close to you. Yeah, that's it. Nice. Welcome back. So you were here, was it 3 months ago?
Yeah, or just before Christmas, I believe. Yeah. It was probably around. Oh, it was late December, mid-December, just before
Yeah.
Christmas Day.
So what have you been up to since then? It's been a few months.
Oh, so much has been happening. It's been busy.
Yeah.
For different reasons.
Yeah, many different reasons. I'm expecting a little one. So I've got a baby on the way. Yes.
First?
Yes, my first.
Oh,
yeah.
that's exciting. How long to go?
Well, she was supposed to be already born by now, but she's been stubborn and she's not. Yeah, she's not coming out at the moment.
Could be a sign.
Yeah, it could be.
So you know it's a girl.
Yes, we do.
Yes,
Yeah.
cute.
Yeah,
And,
congratulations.
her mother can't wait.
He's not going to name her after me.
No, funny that. Oh, if she comes out looking like you, then we've definitely got a problem.
Yes, that would
It's
be a
exciting
problem.
times.
Sorry?
Exciting times.
It is exciting. Nervous, but exciting all at the same time. So,
Yeah,
yeah,
of
but,
course.
yeah, so you're still trying to work out, everything. Yeah, it was all a bit unexpected, to say the least.
Really?
Yeah.
Is
Yes.
that right?
But it's a great surprise.
It often happens that way, doesn't it?
It does.
Just sort of unexpected life in all things in life,
Yes.
most things in life.
And, well, yeah, what they say is life's what's happening, or is what's happening when you're too busy making other plans.
That's right. That's true.
I got that from you, I believe, Tim.
Oh, okay.
That's right. Remember we had a pretty good D&M, the three of us last time.
Yes.
We got pretty
Yep.
deep into life
we did,
and
didn't we?
philosophy. Remember
Mm.
with Tim and yourself, Waylon.
Yes. It was all a bit of a wake up call for me. I didn't actually realise how religious and how deep Tim and his personality and his character is. But it's a good thing. If you don't stand for something, you fall for anything, won't you?
Yeah, perfectly said.
Mm.
Perfectly said.
I've got a lot of perfect things like that to say. They just never come to the surface when they need to.
Are you were sort of into quotes and things? You know, some people sort of, you see them posting a lot on Instagram and Facebook, quotes and sort of life, philosophical points about life.
Yeah, I am.
Messages.
I probably overuse them too much. I use analogies a lot. Like when it comes to explaining things, I'll probably explain the same thing about the same concept, but probably about 50 times just so that I'm satisfied. But yeah, the person who I'm explaining it to probably got it in the first analogy. But yeah, I'll come up with all different things. So half of them make sense, some of them don't. I'll just bring
Yeah.
it.
Well,
Analogy
if it's
is a great
important-
way to understand things.
Yeah. Mm.
Often very useful.
Yes.
So what, now, you're a songwriter.
Yes.
Are you a songwriter as well?
No,
No, you don't
I
write
just
songs.
go with what other people do.
Yeah,
Yeah.
couldn't recall from last time. But can you just talk to us about your songwriting?
My songwriting, what do you want to know about it?
Oh, how you do it, when you do it, well, what you write
Why
about.
you do it?
Oh, well, I find it's a very therapeutic way of channeling all your suppressed, built-up angst, frustrations, or
Yeah.
grievances and whatnot, and put them down to paper. So, I've always wrote poems ever since I was a young fella. So that's probably been something that's helped because I didn't get into music till later on in life. Like music came to me when I was about 27, so about 10 years ago, and it was due to thanks to some blokes that I worked with, Trent, Simo, and Josh. If they're listening, g'day boys. But yeah, it was. Music's always been around my life, due to my father being a musician, my brother being a musician, and whatnot. I was always the footy jock. I went to school down here at Lefevre High School, and too busy chasing girls and playing footy, I think,
Nothing wrong with that.
to get into anything else other than footy and girls.
Yeah.
But no, poems will always help me express what I was feeling inside. I never told anybody growing up at school that I'd write poems because it just wasn't the in thing. A young fella at school writing poems. But I remember one day I actually wrote this poem for this girl, and I was a bit of a shy guy. Like at first, this is in primary school, and I wanted to hand it to her and see what her reaction was. So I wrote this poem and I gave it to her anonymously. And I watched her as she read it, and to see what her reaction would be. And the reaction wasn't what I was expecting it to be at the time. So I took the poem back,
What was her reaction, if you don't mind me asking?
Oh, her reaction was, it was almost like she was looking at it as if to say, that, well, that's a bit coy, you know, a bit
How old were you?
I would have been about 9 years old, 10 years old at the time.
I see what you mean. So young.
Yeah, very young, primary school stuff. And then, so I thought, well, you know, surely that I've got to experiment this. So I gave the same poem to a different girl just to see what the reaction would be. And her reaction was the reaction that I was expecting. It's just unfortunate there wasn't the bird that I was actually chasing at the time. So,
what was her reaction, the second girl?
The second girl, she loved it. She didn't want to part with it. She took it wherever she went.
Cute.
And, so, and that's where I learnt the lesson.
That's
is
such a
always
cute
write
story.
copies of whatever it is you're writing, right? Because if somebody gets a hold of it and takes it, you've always got a backup. So.
That's a very, very cute story.
Oh, it's cute, yeah.
And so you were that sort of aware back then, at that young age. You seemed sort of like, mature's not the word to sort of use for a 9-year-old, but I don't know, some sort of wisdom there to say, okay, the first girl I liked didn't respond the way I liked. Let's try it again. That's really cool.
Well, most of the poems I was writing back then were probably pretty dark anyway. Like it was around the time my parents divorced, and
At the age of 9.
yeah,
Is that
well,
right? Yeah.
between 7 and 9 they divorced. They went their separate ways, and I was causing a bit of trouble at school. I was a bit of a troubled child. Like had difficulty learning because of other things that were going on in life at the same time. My stepdad came on the scene. He's since passed away. God bless his soul, but. He was a bit of a strict fella, and he had some different methods in the way of teaching lessons, ones that I don't, as an adult today, I don't agree with, and I'm sure society doesn't agree with, but that's the way it was back then, and we didn't know any different. It was, we just believed that every household behind closed doors was going through the same thing. So, but that was an avenue in which way to express an outlet, so to speak, I also found football was a good outlet. So on a Saturday I'd go out, play a couple of games of footy and take all my built up angst and suppressed feelings and take it out on the field. But it wasn't until I think it was about 2007 that I found music, and I feel so blessed that I did, because I don't know where I'd be today without it. It's a great outlet. It's something I recommend. Anybody who's ever thought about music or writing or in any which way, shape or form, do it. Don't believe that you can't, because you might even shock yourself, and you get out what you put in, basically. And I think you don't. I mean, I'm not saying don't go get singing lessons and all that sort of stuff. Go do it, because it does help, and knowing what you're doing theoretically is a great thing. Me personally, I'm all self-taught. I haven't had any formal lessons, and I'm a true believer that as long as you're singing something that's got lyrical substance to it, something that if you feel and connects strongly to you, if you're singing that with soul and passion, you don't need all this vocal aerobics and all that jazz that you see on your TV or hear on your radio these days. You just nut it out in your shed, get a band together, get some friends, mates, whatever, and and that's a beautiful thing in itself, when you get to collaborate with a bunch of people, a tight-knit unit, that the camaraderie and sharing those moments on stage, the nervousness, the butterflies and everything like that, that feeling is like a drug, and once you get it, you want more and more and more, and to have that people to share that with on stage, it's an unbelievable feeling to share with others. So I highly recommend music.
I wish I could sort of have had someone sort of typing that down, and I can keep that on a piece of paper. What you just said, you just explained it all so well, and it's a good message to send out too, because some people sort of say, look, there's musicians and there's non-musicians, but there's nothing wrong, like with what you said, is to try, like maybe to be a songwriter. That might not be a singer, but maybe write for someone, write for a band.
Exactly.
We've had bands in here that they've had friends writing songs for them, and then they perform them.
It's amazing. Like, I've actually got a few friends that I didn't even know how well they write and express their feelings. I've had them sit down after they find out that I'm a musician. They'll sit down and go, oh, well, I've got this and this and that poem and this poem, and they'll sit down and read them out to me. Some of them are all pretty cliche, but then there's some of them that sit there and go, can you repeat that all over again? Because that is amazing. I don't know how you manage to have that play on words where it's open for interpretation. You can take it and interpret it in any which way, shape or form that you connect it to, even though it could mean to the person or the writer that something completely different. But it is a great way. It's a great outlet. And we've got a friend of ours sitting outside waving to us through the window.
Yeah, that's the next band.
Yeah.
who are half an hour early. That's all right. It's
That's
all good.
Right. Better
It's all good.
early than late, isn't it?
So I don't want you to sort of look and think that you've got to stop talking
No,
because
you're
they're
right.
here. So we're all.
Oh
cool.
no, bugger him! I'll make him sit outside even longer. We'll sit. No, you can stay there, Mike.
No, thank you, Waylon. Thank you so much for sharing that. Lovely. Tim, let's talk a bit about yourself for the listener who didn't get to meet you last time. If you could talk about yourself and music for you.
Yeah, okay. I'm a bass player. I've done other things musically. I had the obligatory piano and violin lessons as a child at school, and stopped both of them as soon as I was allowed to. Went back to music later and just did it because I enjoyed it. So as a bass player, the thing I most like doing is tagging along with other people.
Yes.
Whatever they're doing. So I play a wide range of different stuff with a lot of different people.
You
and
know everyone
more
in
the
the
better.
music industry in Adelaide, the
He
music
does
scene.
now.
No.
He just about does now. He's
Yeah.
an entrepreneur, bass player extraordinaire.
Look, I've done the band thing, and that's really good when it works. Pigsy, you've had on your show recently.
He's great.
He's got this saying. He says a band is like a five-way marriage.
Five-way marriage.
Yeah. Well, put 5 people together.
Yeah.
it's hard enough to keep
Or
a
however
two-way
many
marriage
people in the
together.
band. Yeah.
Keeping
Very much
5
so.
people on the same page, you only need one person to get their head out of shape, and it's all cactus.
Everybody to share the same energy day in, day out at the rehearsals, at gigs and stuff like that. It's so hard to keep everybody on that same level of...
Yeah, and you pick 5 people and put them together, and their objectives don't necessarily line up. They might fit together musically, but some of them have real life jobs, for example, and they don't want to make music their whole life, and others of them do, and then there's tension because there's a potential gig date and someone's feeling like they've been pushed too hard, and that never works well. There's no point pushing someone to do more than what they want to do.
Yeah, of course.
Like anything, with a team, whether it's a sport, whether it's being in a band, or anything that you're working together as a team, if you've got 4 wheels to a car and 3 wheels go in that, one direction, and one of the wheels go in the opposite direction, you're not going to get anywhere. So you got to make sure, and I suppose trying to keep everybody validated to what they, hope to hear. And keep everybody's energies and positive levels up. It's not an easy thing to do, and so everybody's got to come to rehearsals and gigs, bringing their own energy level to contribute, so that can be, that's transferred into what you're listening to as an audience member listening to a band. You got a band that's really tight and really close together and enjoying it. As a group together,
that's
that all comes through
Yes.
the music and the product in which they're trying to
If
sell.
everyone's on the same page and they want to be doing the same level of gig work and whatever, then that can be the only band that all those people are in, and that'll work fine.
Yeah.
If you've got a mix of different people, well, some of them are going to be off in several other bands as well, and then date clashes and So at present, what I'm mostly doing is duo work with various people. I played 3 gigs with Pigsy on the weekend by accident.
He's such a
I
great
saw a
guy,
picture of
isn't
that.
he?
One of them was
Swanee?
scheduled. I booked that and dragged him along.
Yeah.
And then the next one, I just turned up to hang out, but I had my bass in the car, of course, so he said, I'd go and play.
Oh, cool.
And then that was up at Littlehampton on Sunday over.
You
And
were
then-
at
I did see
Littlehampton on
that
Sunday.
on
Yeah, that was with
Facebook.
Swanee.
and then afterwards,
Rob and yourself,
no,
yeah.
Swanee wasn't there.
Wasn't he?
Just Rob and himself.
Okay.
Yeah. And then after that one, he says, $100, jump in the car, come play with me at Murray Bridge. So I said, oh, all right. So we went and played at the Murray Bridge Greyhound track.
Yeah.
for their inaugural Murray Bridge Cup, first ever. So
Yeah, right.
nice facility they've got up there, pretty new. But I'm still happy to do band work. I played at Tanunda last night with May Rocket.
Mm-hmm.
They're great. Their work
yeah.
ethic is unbelievable.
Yeah,
man.
so they're mainly a duo,
Yeah.
but when they get a
Yeah.
bigger booking, they'll just rope people in, so go on and play.
Seeing where they've come from their first gig to today,
Yeah.
like it's like I remember being on stage the first time they came out. They were on at first date together because they're a couple as well, and then they've got up and sung together and played together, and they've haven't looked back since. And they're getting gigs week in, week out. And,
Yeah, they're good.
you know, multiple, which is great. I look up to them as
Nice.
far as their work ethic's concerned in music. So
Yeah. Beautiful.
great two people.
Have you got another song for us?
We do, or I do.
Before we do that, I just want to give a shout out to people who are tuning in. We've got Daryl Williams, hello, Rebecca Avisi, Ben Summers, Heath Solo, Gia Borholm, sorry if I said that wrong, so sorry, Lloyd Clark, Jean, GK, Lily Kua, Catherine Marie Gill, Robert Dowie, Carl Walter, Chris Canning, Zach Brarani, Joe O'Brien, Raj Pandey, Melanie Cohen, Mike Trigger, David Williams, Carol Madusa, Mark Lloyd, Paul Cowie, Alex McLeod, Steve Ville and Arthur Hibbert. Thank you for joining. So, if we can go to the next song.
No worries. Yeah. Well, this is a song that I'd really like to perform and play in memory of someone that I just recently, a friend of mine who was very close to me, passed away last week, and my condolences to the Bland and the Hart family.
Sorry
Michelle
to hear.
Bland, may she rest in peace. She's a great soul. So this song is in memory of her, and I hope you like it.
You live life so bold. You had a childlike life and wisdom made of gold. You treat life like found gold. You saw the good in all, can't be bored or sold. You live life so bold. You had childlike life and wisdom made gold. You treat life like found gold. You saw the good in no can't be bored or sold. It is known, it's what I've been said. Lord remembers the good, forgives all the rest. This life, the ultimate test. You will pass with high distinctions, my dear friend. When the angels surround heaven, well, I know everything will be alright. Holy Ghost and words of wisdom will guide us all from darkness into light. Now there's a darkness untold, an unfortunate twist that leaves us feeling cold. And there's no words in soul to explain the void left by friends we know. So lest we forget the life you live and the love that you live. And the angels around heaven, well, I know everything will be alright. Holy Ghost and words of wisdom will guide us all from darkness into light. laugh like tango. You so good, no can be boy or soul. It is known to have been said, Lord remembers the good, forgives all the rest. This life, the ultimate test. You will pass a passation's mighty friend. When the angels fall down from heaven, well I know everything will be alright. Holy Ghost, with words of wisdom, will guide your soul from darkness into light.
Really stunning. Thank you very much, Waylon, Scott, and Tim Seeley in the studio. I just want to talk a bit more about that song, if that's all right, but I just need to go to a quick
You're
break.
right.
Back shortly. Stunning, stunning song. When did you write that?
I wrote that probably about a year ago.
I just want to talk a bit more. Could we just let those people in? Is that
Yeah.
right? I just can't get out here. Is that all right? Thank you.
I'll let him out there.
Oh, but oh, you got the things. You got the lollies, yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Any shout outs here? We're still live on Facebook. We've got Tim in the studio.
I've been avoiding sugar for weeks.
Or have you? Not now.
I've been given lots of bike riding tips in my career, and my tip for you is to have a white front light and a rear red
And-
light as
oh.
essential
And
safety
if they could just latch the doors.
Set them to blink and use them both day and night to draw attention to your position on the road. You can get more of my riding tips at mac.sa.gov.au. Brought to you by the Motor Accident Commission and the Government of South Australia.
So how many more songs have you got for us?
Me? I've got
As many as you want.
Two?
two.
All right.
As many as you want.
No, cool. Sounds good. So we'll talk about that song and we'll go to another song and then talk. So 2 songs. Yeah.
Just whatever works out best for you.
Yeah. Cool. All right. 20 seconds. Oh, that's good for. Thank you for shutting the other door. Perfect.
That's all right.
You know the drill.
On 8749 3007 or email secretary@wowfm.org or publicity@wowfm.org.
Don't forget to support WOW every year.
What was that song called? What was that song called?
When the Angels Fall.
When the Angels Fall. Yeah, thank you.
Top one.
Thank you. Thanks for tuning into Wow FM this afternoon. We've got Tim and Waylon in the studio. Welcome back.
Thank you for having us. We're having a good time, aren't we, Tim?
Yep.
Mm.
Yes, we are, as always. Always good to have you both here. This is the second time, so thank you.
That's all right.
Now, that song was titled,
When the Angels Fall.
yes, and I always like to write sort of certain things down when I hear certain songs, and one that stood out for me was, I don't know if I got it right, correct me if I'm wrong, something like Holy Ghost, Words of Wisdom. Was that how it went?
Yeah, the Holy Ghost with words of wisdom
That's beautiful.
will guide your soul from darkness into light.
Mm,
That's right. Well, I hope so anyway.
nice.
True.
Beautiful.
True.
Sort of somewhat, it was only just recently finished, but it was somewhat inspired about one of our recent conversations. And it's, yeah, I thought at the time, it was also inspired by a conversation that I had with an old stepdaughter of mine, Jamie Lee Earlham. We were having a talk, and it's all about drugs and alcohol and things that you may come across when you reach to secondary school. And so I was just trying to prepare her for that, and it made me think back to my younger years and the friends that I'd lost just due to impulsive decisions that were just not necessarily the right ones, and doing silly stuff, and some of it involved drugs, alcohol, and vehicles, and all different things. So I thought, instead of writing a song for one specific person, and in memory of them, I thought I would try and write something short but sweet, and not that doesn't go too in depth, and not too slow, but something that sort of celebrates the life of a lot of my friends across the board that I've lost along the way, as opposed to just one particular person.
Yeah. That's wise to do that as well. It can relate to different people for sort of different topics,
Yes.
but the same message or
Yeah.
similar message people can take
Mhm.
from it.
I mean, as we get older, and it's inevitable, we're going to lose more and more people around us as we get older. It's the way of life, really, isn't it? And I think those things, losing those people, I mean, when our time's up, our time's up. But those people are the ones that make us realise how lucky we are, and to take each day and each moment and as a blessing. You know, the ones that are left over. So, but yeah, we can keep their names living on in good memory, and it's up to us to do so. So don't look back in sadness. Always look back as with a bit of a smile and a bit of a celebrative sort of attitude towards it. And yeah, well, that's how I think of it anyway.
That's a lot of great messages there as well. Many sort of layers to it and nuances and shades, because many people go through different things, and it's always a good thing to look back and say, okay, I did this here, and maybe I'll do it a little bit differently now, and that's what we all go through. It's a human condition, isn't it, to learn and grow, and etc.
Yes. Don't be too hard on yourself if you make some of these mistakes in your life, because at the end of the day, you won't regret it as you get older, because if you didn't do it, you wouldn't be the person I wouldn't be the person I am today without all the mistakes that I'd made, and I made some doozies which affected a lot of people around me, family and otherwise, and it was them that gave me the second and third chances, which I'm so very grateful for.
What, family and friends?
Yeah, I wouldn't be where I am today if it wasn't for those second and third chances. So I just guess another underlying message there is don't hold on to grudges too much. Forgive and allow that person to grow, and hopefully within that person will actually learn from their mistake as well.
Oh yeah.
Stupid people don't learn from their mistakes. Smart people learn from other people's mistakes.
Well, I was
Really?
a stupid person for a long time.
Yeah.
But how can we learn from others' mistakes as
well,
well?
if-
I mean,
If you can see someone else make a mistake
Oh.
and you can learn a lesson from
yeah.
it without making that mistake yourself,
yeah, I know what you mean.
then
So
that's smart.
yeah, I was coming from the point of view of I suppose sometimes we have to touch the hot kettle to realise it's hot. You know what I mean? And it's so interesting. We always use this
Sometimes
analogy.
you can only learn by making a mistake yourself. Yep.
Because we really feel the pain, really feel the lesson. Let's say. I had that exact. I know this is just a little tiny cute side thing that I was looking after my niece the other day, and my mum brought some hot potatoes out of the oven, and the dish was hot, and she was really hungry, and she was standing there, and I said, "Don't touch that because it's hot and it will burn you." Well, of course, the finger went straight there. She burnt herself and was really upset. She wanted to cry, but even at that young age, she knew that she probably couldn't cry because she'd already been warned. So
it's always the case with young people too.
thought,
Like you
look
tell
at
them
that.
not to do something, which actually that makes them want to do it even more.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I mean, I was the same when I was young. My parents say, "Don't look over the back window of the car because there's a cop behind us."
Yeah,
Like, what do you
of
do?
course.
And you go and have a look, don't you? Like you can't help it. It's just natural instinct.
That's true. It is natural to be aware and know. Just because someone's told you, you still want to look. Yeah, exactly. Or it's like being out with friends and they're like, look at that person, or look at that guy, look at that girl. Don't look.
Yeah, don't make it obvious. Yeah.
We're funny creatures, humans, aren't we?
It can be. We're all creatures of habit too.
Oh yeah, don't get me started on that topic. Habit, eh? Nice. So, have you got another song for us?
I do. This is a song that's it's generally the most requested song that I get asked to play when I'm out
So
on
it
stage.
might be one I've heard before.
Sorry?
It might be one I've heard before.
Yeah, maybe. I don't even
Oh, you
think
don't know the song that's coming, Tim.
he barely
No.
knows any of the songs that are
Well,
coming.
the song he just played before I've never heard.
So you just go with it, don't you? You're a master of that.
Hence the mistakes. But I'll fudge it.
All right, this one's
good.
a pretty aggressive one. This is called "Best of Me."
You make it clear. You say lies. all your doubts. Well, the day's come, I'm gonna fight, I'm gonna stand my ground. Like a dark black cloud fogging up your mind, I'll breathe a raging storm that upsets your sunset sky. You say I'm gonna bleed, well you just may be right, but I know that only one of us will be leaving here tonight. You ain't gonna see the best of me. Gonna take you down, bring you to your knees. You ain't gonna get the best of me. Gonna cut you down, watch you as you bleed. You criticize my being, you criticize my life. Have you nothing better to do than keep messing with my mind? 'Cause you don't have the right, and I don't have the time. So get your nose up on my shit and get yourself alive. You ain't gonna see the best of me. Gonna take you down, bring you to your knees. You ain't gonna get the best of me. Gonna cut you down, watch you as you bleed. Jimmy. You make it clear, you say it loud. I seem to be the one most talked about.
Yes, Waylon Scott and Tim Seeley in the studio. I have to say that is one of my favourite songs.
Is
Because
it?
I remember that one. I heard that one last year. And how can we get our hands on that song?
Well, I haven't actually laid it down on track yet, so I've got to get
But
on the
if you
studio
come along to
and
one of
record
our
it.
gigs,
Yeah, you'll hear it more often, definitely.
I really like that song.
Yeah,
Yeah, I do.
it's a good song. It's a very aggressive, angry sort of song.
Didn't feel like it.
No,
To me,
Well,
I
I,
mean-
suppose everybody's can interpret it in their own way, but yeah, I don't like to actually expose what my songs were written about. Just for
Yeah.
that factor, I don't want to take anything
Oh,
away from an
fair
audience member or anybody listening to it. So,
might lose the mystery.
well, that's right. You can't. You've got to keep the mystique in what you're producing there, don't you, Tim?
So
I guess so.
interesting, isn't it?
Mm.
So interesting.
It's actually it's very nerve wracking when it comes to times like this, and you're worried, because when you write these songs, you're sitting at home on your bed by yourself, and you're creating something from nothing, but it's all coming from within here and in here, and you know that it's got to try and tell a story and have a beginning and a middle and an end, but it's you're wearing your heart on your sleeve,
Yeah.
and so a lot of it, whether you're looking at it from you're writing from a third point of view, it's still got a lot of you and your reactions, your feeling, or whatever, how so it's to do that, and knowing when you go on stage or when you're at on radio, like this particular moment right now, wearing your heart on your sleeve and expressing that, and you know that you're putting your feelings out there for people to have an opinion on, people to judge, people to and that there is a very daunting thing, knowing that.
And how they respond to the song feels like a response to you.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah. You got to detach yourself somewhat, a little bit from it. And the moment that you play one of your songs that you've written and created in that bedroom by yourself and create, from nothing, the moment you play it to an audience or to anybody, just one person, it's no longer just yours. It's the song starts to pick up a life of its own, and it becomes its own. You've got to share that with your audience members and stuff like that, especially if it's a song that people really, really love and request and want to hear all the time. Like, the song almost becomes theirs as much as it is yours.
That's true.
That's one of the main reasons why you've got to try and detach yourself from it somewhat. But yeah, I've still got songs in the bag that.
And then people start doing covers of it, and it's not the way you were thinking of it.
No, well, I'd be interested to hear if people to take my writings and put their own spin on it, or
I've never had that happen to any of my songs.
I haven't had
but
it.
I've done it to plenty of other people's songs, and sometimes I wonder what they think.
See, that song you're just saying, I couldn't imagine it done differently.
No.
I can't.
I'm a true believer.
It needs to be that way. That song.
Keep it simple. Simple is effective. You know what I mean? No need to overcomplicate things too often. That's my, that's what I base a lot of what I do on. People, other musicians will look at me and go, "Oh, he's just a 3-chord wonder," or he's just, he's just, my thing is, I'm not a guitarist. I don't even know half the time what I'm playing are actually chords. It just sounds cool to me. But I use that to carry my voice, and that helps me with saying what I need to say. So my strength is my vocal, and it always has been, and it probably always will be. But you can't rely upon other people. I could get a guitarist and we could sit down for a whole week and write out a whole heap of songs that would be really great, but what's the point in doing that if you're not prepared to promote it? You're not prepared to get together and play it and perform it and tour with it or whatever, and allow the songs to give it a life of their own. Like, if they're just going to stay between, you and a guitarist at home and go nowhere else, there's no real point, except for the fact that you're expressing your feelings and you're channeling that, getting that off your chest. But other people go through the same things that you go through, and it'd be good to share that with somebody who and people warm to it, that are going through the same things you're going through.
Of course.
That's not too deep, is it, Tim? That's not. I don't know. I get worried that I start to sound a bit too silly if I go too far or too deep.
No way, it's good.
I'm not known as a deep person generally when it comes to talking. But see, with music, like, you can go to a bar, a bloke can go to a bar and sit down and say, "Oh, my dog died, my wife left me, she took the house, the car," and
there's
the
a
bloke
blues
at the
song
bar,
instant blues song.
the bloke next to you is going to sit there and look at you and go, "Harden the hell up, mate! Like, stop your whinging and just get on with it." That's a bloke's thing. But if I was to go into a bar and put it into song, like, and then the bloke starts tapping their feet to it, and everybody, so it's just a different avenue in which to express and get your feelings out, and it's more acceptable than what it is if I was to go to the bar and just whinge and moan to the bloke that's sitting in the bar next to me.
Well, I think that more people talking, more guys, more males are sort of acknowledging that they need to talk and need to express themselves and cry or feel emotional, because of course that's natural, but in society we're taught maybe perhaps not do that. For little boys are taught that, don't cry, but that's so damaging. And hopefully in society these days people are going away from that, because emotions and expression is cathartic and so very important for our mental health as well, men and women.
Very much so.
So
yeah. Well, that brings me back to the first song I ever wrote, which I've only ever performed once, and that was on Radio Tribe FM actually, not so long ago. That's one of the songs that I've always kept close to myself, because I know the moment that I share it is a moment that it's no longer just mine. But I've been come to terms of the fact that I'm ready to share that song, and I can play it for you now if you want, if we've got time.
Yeah, we have. We've got a few minutes left, so.
All right.
that will take us to On the Hour, which is perfect timing. Thank you.
No worries. Well, this song was the first song I ever wrote, and this was written about a partner of mine when we were 20. She passed away of a heart disease. This was started out as a poem, and I turned it into a song. I'm not sure if you're familiar with it, Tim, but I'm sure you'll catch up.
By the end of the first verse, mate.
I don't play ballads very often, but yeah, this is called Kelly's Song. I can hear your song for 1,000 times. For each time I do, takes me back to that night with your red summer dress. You look high aside, the touch of your skin. You said no, the end is near, I can taste it on my tongue. And I smell the scent of fear, and I think of what's to come. Like a flick of a flame, you were wild and warm, innocent and quiet, like a calm before the storm. I never planned things to be this way, but I'll face it all alone. I'll pick my head up out my hands, and I'll walk the rocky road with memories of my beautiful girl I push on before too long. And anytime I'll just play your favorite song. I can hear your song for 1,000 times. For each time I do, it takes me back to that night with your red summer dress. You look out the side, the touch your skin and look in your eyes. Here I sit, all alone, 3 years since you've been gone. My thoughts are broken into words, and I wrote you your own song. I hope the song you do approve. I know it can go too long. When I sing this song to you, I no longer feel alone. I can hear your song for 1,000 times. For each time I do, it takes me back to that night with your red summer dress. You look out the side, the touch of your skin and look in your eyes. The touch of your skin and look in your eyes. The touch of your skin and look in your eyes.
Thank you, Waylon, Scott, and Tim Seeley in the studio. That was another really beautiful song. I just have to say, look, I don't know how artists and musicians, I mean, I know you're very strong people, but how you sing these sort of heartfelt sort of songs with so much history and so much pain, and it's really
I
amazing.
actually almost choked up during
It's
that.
really
so-
amazing, yeah.
Yeah. No, it's one of those things. I mean, like I said, as long as you're singing something that's got lyrical substance and you're singing it with soul, then you can't go wrong. So get out there, kids, and pick up a guitar, or a piano, or a recorder, or even a triangle, and just write and play and do whatever it is you can to express whatever you got going on inside.
Yeah, good for you. So what gigs are coming up, if we can just share them?
I'll leave that over to Tim. Tim's got all this.
Yeah,
all
okay, so Waylon and I are doing a couple. Saturday 13th of April at West Thebby Social Club. We are opening for Midnight Kiss. Old Play is also playing that night with Heather, who was just on before this hour.
What's the name of the band?
Old Play is
Yes.
her band.
With lovely Heather, who has a show here at WOW FM.
Yep. So Midnight Kiss are a good crew. I kind of tried out on bass with them for a while. Then on Thursday the 9th of May, Waylon and I are opening again for Midnight Kiss at the Metro. So Saturday 13th of April, West Thebby, Thursday the 9th of May at the Metro.
And what times do they start? I should write this
The
down.
April one.
Shouldn't I?
Yeah, April 1, we're on at 9 o'clock.
Right.
I'll play at 10, Midnight Kiss at 11.
So get
Thank
down
you,
there,
Tim.
folks. Get down there and grab a seat and enjoy a beverage and be serenaded by Tim and myself and other artists before you
Oh,
see
yeah.
the main band, Midnight Kiss.
Yep.
It's going to be a great night.
Nice. Thank you. I don't want to finish, but we have to because we've got one other band coming in the next 6
All
minutes.
good things come to an end, and it's been a pleasure. Thank you for having us
but
on
you
the show.
know you guys are welcome here anytime.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
We'll be back anytime you want us.
Yeah. Thank you, Tim
Thanks.
and Waylon. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Beautiful.
Did I come across it?
Oh, perfect.
Yeah.
Stunning. Just throw the news on. Time for news. Yeah, so if you want to say goodbye here.
See you later, folks. Thank you for coming. And I'll see you all
So
on.
I just want to say, give a shout out here to Lee, who's watching, Owen Jones, Gilly D, Gary
Owen.
Townsend, Pat Smith, Con Dello, Leanne Smith, Benjamin Williams, Joshua Lamont, Dave Oates, Adrian Chechen, Peter Baluki, Jeff Miller, Rob Green, Peter Hoffman, Paul Sharp, Reno Kufone, Brad White, Dara Williams. So, and I think we caught up to the previous people that were watching. So thank you for tuning in.
Right, and shout out to Chris Wincello, who I saw on the way to the studio today, and Nikki West is the best. Nikki West from the south, lives in the north.
Okay.
You got some good musos in that list.
Sorry?
You got some quite good musos in that list.
There?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, any I need to contact to come on?
Pat Smith, I think he's 11.
Oh yeah, he's been here before. Pat's
Yeah.
awesome. Yes.
Thanks for the sugar.